Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. If you're just landing here, I hope you stick around. I'm Afefe with Touch by Tarot and Beyond. And man, oh man, couple of things I want to get into with you all today. Let's look at AI, right? And the situation that's going on. We understand that companies are having tremendous sticker shock. Those who have bought all into it, that we have reporting out of the Wall Street Journal and Axios and some other reputable sources who are saying that there is one company unnamed. I guess they're so embarrassed they don't want to, they're trying to scramble and make sure it doesn't come out. But they spent $500 million in 1 month on utilization of AI. And like for what? They're saying that a lot of companies who have bought all into this are realizing there's no decent return on investment, right? And the licensing, the maintenance, and all the other costs that are associated with going all in on AI is like, it's going to affect their bottom line. Is that going to have are we going to see some brakes being put on AI? The flip side of that, there's a couple of other pieces here, as we all know. One is increasingly we know that AI and tech stocks are what are bolstering the economy right now in the stock market. Like it's all about that. That's the only thing that's really showing huge growth. So there's an interest in protecting that. Also, we're hearing more the propaganda, essentially, maybe there's truth to it, that we need, the genie is out of the bottle and we need AI at this point specifically for national security. Is that another reason why we're seeing so many delays in reaching some sort of agreement with Iran? Other situations that are happening globally? Okay, so that's the argument for why we need it and why there has to be this expansion and growth. Last piece is we also have organizations like the NAACP and other organizations that are starting to get on board with what they're calling a dirty AI movement. The impact that it's having, especially in where they're trying to build these data centers, which are being resisted in many areas in predominantly poor and rural communities. The pollution, the energy usage, the water drain, we've all heard about that. So, and I want to thank many of you who've been asking me to look into the AI situation. And I had it on my list. It's been on my back burner for a while. But when that news broke over the weekend that companies are having this sticker shock, $500 million in a month. I really want to know who that is. And for those of you who may not know me or didn't know, I used to be a newspaper reporter. So, of course, I was digging, y'all. I was digging trying to figure out who that is. Maybe it'll come forward, but I'm taping this early Monday morning. I couldn't find it. If some of you did from a reputable source, what company that was, but that company doesn't stand alone. Maybe they haven't been, everybody's not losing almost $500 million, but clearly there are losses being experienced by these corporations who have gone all in on AI. So want to take a look at the future of it, and specifically whether this dirty AI movement is going to really catch a hold. And the extent to which Spirit is reminding me at the end of this is going to be a huge issue in our elections going forward, not just the midterms, but certainly 2028. Spirit, what's going to happen with AI? Three of Swords, serious regrets. Talk about sticker shock, right, by these companies, and we ain't feeling sorry for them, but serious sticker shock, like a total. What did we get ourselves into? Spirit, what is the future of AI, and will this dirty AI movement grow and stop the growth of it? Six of Swords, trying to figure out how to move, how to make moves against it, and notice it's coming in swords, data, information. What is the future with AI? Will this crazy expansionism get stopped, Spirit? The Five of Swords, coming up in swords again, there's a struggle because the genie's out of the bottle. The Queen of Swords, King of Pentacles, that's company heads. Queen of Swords, the messaging again. How do we continue to sell this as something that is beneficial, that is necessary when it comes to national security? And the King of Pentacles, there's money on the table. There are, it's not just what companies are spending, it's also the stock market. Spirit, is the dirty AI movement, will there be a stop to, will there be a stop to this, or at least regulations, something that prevents? Here's the Queen of Cups. I love that. Regardless of who this might represent as a person, as an energy in tarot, you all, this is what Queen of Cups is about: caring for people, caring for families, caring for the well-being of people. And so again, when we talk about dirty AI, the pollution, the usage of energy, the tainting, not just using water, but contaminating water and people's water resources. So, Three of Cups, that's a celebration. Why is there a celebration, Spirit? Will we see some brakes being put on this? The Seven of Swords, lies being told about why we still need it and it ain't so bad after all. Ten of Swords. Yikes. I'm not comfortable with this, you all. And I keep it real here on the channel, and I tell you what I see. And you see what I see. Many of you here are readers yourselves, so you have your own interpretations. But the way these swords are coming, Seven of Swords, trying to deceive the public about, hey, it's not so bad after all. Ten of Swords, though, I feel like this reaches a crescendo where people don't believe the lies, right? People don't believe the lies. They know, they can see for themselves what this really is. Spirit, will we see changes based on who gains office? Will there be regulations put in place? Will there be more resistance based on who's put in office? Page of Pentacles, yes. But also, Pentacles move slow, right? We remember, Pentacles move slow, and Pages are new ways of going at something, or new energy that's going to evolve over time. So with regard to the question, is this something that is going to happen more so when we get different people in government? And I'm also getting not just about the federal offices, I'm getting state leaders as well. Are state leaders and governors going to be under more pressure to enact regulations? Four of Wands, a commitment to protecting their people, to protecting the constituency. And the Ten of Pentacles, 100%, you all. It's not economically feasible. The money that I led this off with this, all this money that's being lost by tech companies in particular, but corporations in general who are licensing this software AI and turning their companies, turning their employees loose with it, and they're paying based on how many hits they use with it, right? How often they're using it. So that's the money issue. But also in state government and governors, they're going to get hit with that on a state level. It's not just companies, it's also their state tax dollars and taxpayer dollars. So will we see a peel back from this? Will we be saved from this? Will these data centers get slowed down? Queen of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. It's a fight, you all. And the Page of Wands. It's a fight. Because again, as I said earlier in spirit, my spirit guides, the way they put it was the genie has left the bottle. The reliance upon the interest in even astrologically, we know that there is so much energy around information and data and tech that we're really entering into a different information age. So AI's place is here. But that Queen of Pentacles and that Nine of Wands feels like persistence to take care of people's needs. Notice I'm not seeing a lot of major arcana. So that makes me also feel like the timing of this may take a while. Four of Swords, exactly. How do we do it? Because it has been deemed as a necessary thing. AI, the usage of it has been deemed unnecessary thing, but also the Nine of Cups, the will and the desire of people to use it more responsibly, to take care of people, going back to that Queen of Pentacles, to take care of people, and that Queen of Cups that we got earlier. You know, you got to take care of people's water sources and resources. Spirit, is this something that will get resolved or rebalanced within the next year to 2 years? Eight of Swords, Knight of Wands, Five of Cups, and the Nine of Pentacles. Again, lower energy here. You know why? The King of Swords. I get it. You know why? You know why I'm seeing low, and when I say lower energy, for those of you who don't read tarot, I'm talking about when we see something that's about to pop off, right? There are major arcana cards that carry higher levels of more powerful energy, right? And that's not what's coming up here. It's more day-to-day, play it out sort of energy around this. And it's because there is money that is propping up the economy around AI. And that's the sticking point. They've got to, even those who are going to be in this dirty AI movement and don't want to see the spread of these, just willy-nilly spread of these data centers, they are concerned about the economic impact of AI. They don't want to be seen as weak on national security. And so there's not enough buy-in yet to stop it, to really fight it wholeheartedly. There's not enough buy-in yet to do it. There is enough, and the Five of Wands, there is enough, the conflict is still building. The Five of Wands, the conflict around this is still building. The information around the harmful impacts is still building. And the Seven of Pentacles, exactly. An assessment that has to take place over a period of time, you all. So that's the bottom line. I'm not seeing a bada bing, bada bang, flip the switch, boom, it's got to stop. Because at this point, between the economic concerns and the reliance on it, there's a momentum that is slowly going to build to justify taming the spread of AI. What regulations need to be put in place to what kind of oversight to determine pollution and energy usage, all of those things. That's going to take some time for the buy-in. But I'll tell you what, that loss of money, Spirit, are we going to see these big tech companies start to suffer financially because of the costs? Are we going to see a pullback in spending because of the costs? Yes, we will. The world. Finally, some major arcana energy. Yes. All right. Something told me don't let go. Right? Stay with it a moment longer. So yes, that is where, thank you, Spirit. That is where the change comes in, you all. Because, hey, is anybody surprised anymore? It always comes down to money, right? It always comes down to capitalism and profitability. So the companies who have invested and who are losing money, that's where they're going to feel the pinch, and the growth may start to diminish. The principles of it, the idea of, climate issues and energy usage and the other things that are for all the right reasons, that's what's going to take a little longer and be a little slower to develop. And the Nine of Swords, exactly, because they know it's coming in. The Ace of Cups. Finally, you gave me an Ace, Spirit. Thank you. And Cups, right? So yes, it to the extent that we start to see some pullback and getting some reins on this runaway AI situation, I think it's going to come from the losses from companies, the money thing first and foremost, and then the issues around people's safety, people's health, land usage, energy usage comes on the back end of that. All right. Okay. Second thing I wanted to look at today. Can somebody help me understand who took over and what the hell happened to Mikie Sherrill in New Jersey? The Delaney Hall situation, right? And we know Delaney Hall is by no means by itself, but that is what we saw a lot of energy around, and the protests that took place recently and over the weekend in New Jersey. So Mikie Sherrill, everybody was, myself included, hooped a ha about the fact that she won. Democrat, woman, female governor, all the things. She hauled off and called the New Jersey State Police to assist ICE to deal with the protesters. And like you all saw it, they went full on riot gear, closed off the perimeter, started pushing people farther and farther back from the Delaney detention center. So what happened to Mikie Sherrill? Is this about the Aipac'D money or these other corporate interests? Because we know, I looked it up, she's on that Aipac'D train, right? Is this about the money? Did somebody call her and talk? Because she was running the same lines that they use. This, we have to ensure the safety of our people. The protesters were being violent. Where? I looked for it. Did you find it? Where? Were there Molotov cocktails being thrown? Were there fires being set? Were there what? Where was the violence? What necessitated bringing in the state police? So she was using that same dog whistle that the conservatives used. This was about public safety. This was about protecting the people. This was outside agitators being brought in. Spirit, what happened to Mikie Sherrill? Did she cave to, was she being pressured by the money people? Three of Pentacles comes at the bottom of the deck. These were groups that said, hey, you work for us. You work with us. Did she cave? And the Hangman, she did a flip. And she's thinking long term about money that she thinks she can get cooperatively, Three of Pentacles, through the government. She didn't want to become a target. The Five of Wands. The Seven of Wands. And the Hermit. She's playing long term her success not just for the state and for money, but for higher office. I think she's got some thoughts about higher office. Whoa. Did Cory Booker get to her? Because I got some feelings about him, and I'll get to that in a second, too. Did Cory Booker get to her? Nine of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles. Because check, and the Ten of Pentacles. Boom. Boom shakalaka. Here's what happened. Among other interests, I do see the influence of AIPAC and other corporate interests that apparently she does take money from. However, she got the call also from Cory Booker, New Jersey, right? Because Cory said, hey, I'm here I'm in Washington. You're there. I'm supposed to be helping you to get federal money, to get resources for the state. We know Cory got his little laser focus on trying to see what he can do about 2028, right? Very clear, because we're starting to see a lot from him, yip, lately. But you know what? I don't care how long that man can hold his bladder. He also is a part of that corporate money interest. But that's what it is. The Ten of Pentacles and the Nine of Pentacles. This was strategic around. It was not around. This was about don't tee off the government. Don't tee off Trump. Don't tee off the folks, Congress. And that's what Cory Booker was coming from. The Knight of Cups. Making chess moves. I want to hold that up for you, right? That's what it was. Cory Booker called her and said, or maybe even she called him and said, what do we do about this? Because we also understand, as many states, in many blue states, there are budgetary concerns and death. She just wanted to bring it to an end. And the Eight of Pentacles. She wanted to do whatever was necessary to get the light off of, and the Three of Cups. Exactly. She was willing to do, Mikie Sherrill was willing to do whatever was necessary to bring this to an end and to get the heat off of her and the spotlight off of her. She's no J.B. Pritzker. We'll put it that way, okay? She's no J.B. Pritzker. She's no Gavin Newsom. Dang. Now, last thing, Cory Booker, speaking of, all of a sudden has 1,000 things to say about Graham Plattner, who many of you know, oyster farmer, former Army vet, I think, definitely military vet, came out of nowhere. Chuck Schumer and other establishment Dems, of whom now at this point, I'm going to say Cory Booker is one, was trying to go for Janet Mills, right? That's who they wanted to face off against Susan Collins in Maine, right? But Graham Plattner, being a part of this more progressive, down-to-earth, regular people, hey, we want change in the Democratic Party. Graham Plattner got it going to the point where, and Spirit said, I must say, I don't often, talk about predictions or whatever I made, but I saw Graham Plattner taking it a long time ago when Schumer was still trying to get Janet Mills to get in there. Got to a point where we saw Janet Mills was like, I don't stand a chance. I'm just going to go ahead and bow out. Now we got Cory Booker dealing with Maine. Never mind what's happening in his state, Jersey. He's talking about, there is a situation where apparently Graham Plattner had some text messages leaked around, some inappropriate things going on with women. His wife, for those of you who don't know, quick recap. So his wife apparently told his campaign manager in 2025, Plattner's campaign manager, about the existence of these these texts. Now, Plattner and his wife have worked things out, apparently, or trying to, right? Life happens, things happen, right? Not excusing any of it, but the bottom line is, as a situation that has nothing to do with his platform, his candidacy, and how he, as a regular person, made mistakes and is trying to still be, put himself in the spotlight politically, they tried to work some things out. She told his wife told the campaign manager, because just in case something came up, somebody came out, they were trying to be proactive about it. Now, all of a sudden, these texts get leaked, and Cory Booker jumps up in the media and says, well, Graham Plattner got some explaining to do. Cory, are you low-key trying to help Susan Collins? Is Aipac'D gave you some directions and said, hey, Plattner is an unknown quantity here. And he's one of these super progressive, different kind of politician. What's up with that? Why is Cory Booker's spirit going after Graham Plattner? Is he fronting for Aipac'D and or the corporate interests? We have the Three of Wands. He's afraid of the progressive movement. And the Two of Wands, exactly. He's focused on his future, 2 years, 2028. He's trying to make himself as relevant. Cory Booker is trying to make himself as relevant as possible, y'all, because he's serious about making that 2028 run. And what does he need to do that? Money and the Wheel of Fortune. Y'all, we can sum this up. That's what it is. He's counting his time. He wants to make this run for president. And at the very least, Spirit is telling me to get on a ticket as a vice presidential candidate, as on whoever wins the Democratic nomination for president in 2028. That's what his whole deal is about. And to do that, he's got to continue to make nice with the money folk. And Ace of Wands, Spirit said yes. A yes is a yes. That's what it is. So that's why he's going after Plattner, because Plattner will be a different kind of candidate, that we are now seeing the people really want more of, the Mom Donnies, the AOCs, the Justin Pearsons, the Jasmine Crockett's, and others who are coming up through the ranks on a more progressive level, that are shifting the dynamics, not only dealing with the conservatives, but dealing within the Democratic Party itself and shifting that. People who have shaped themselves around the establishment style. We don't even get into Hakeem Jeffries, right? But that whole thing, Cory Booker is a part of that. And that's what he's following the assignment. He was given an assignment. That's what he's trying to do because of his aims going forward. We'll keep an eye on him. All right, you all. Thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate you. I appreciate the hypes. I appreciate the comments that help. 7 words apparently helps the algorithm. I appreciate your energy in general, your passion, your intelligence, all of it. Don't give up. Don't give up. 11:11. Make a wish. We're going to get through this together. I am going to be traveling, leaving tonight, so you may not see me tomorrow. I've got a long travel day ahead of me. May not see me tomorrow, but I'll definitely check in with you all while I'm on the road. I'll check in with you on Wednesday because we've got, of course, really big primaries in multiple states tomorrow. So I'll make sure I see your faces on Wednesday. Okay, chin up. Shoulders back. Woo. And remember to come from your heart. Keep breathing. This is a long thing we got going on. And Spirit has said that repeatedly. You know that. I think instinctively people are we're realizing this is the long haul. There's no magic fix, but we will get where we need to go. Ultimately, we're going to get where we need to go. So please keep your energy together. Remember, the sky is always above you and the earth is beneath you, sustaining you. All right? I'll talk to you later. Bye.